Hi guys, welcome back to So Jannelle. I'm your host, Lilly Jade Perkins. Don't worry, your real host, Mommy, will be on soon. But before that happens, I thought I would tell you guys a secret. Yes, you guessed it, today is Mother's Day. I want to show Mama how special she is to me. So later on in the show, I will be revealing all in my very first TV interview. And the best part is, Mommy has no idea. So enjoy the show. I'll see you later. Mwah.
Hello everyone, welcome to So Jannelle. I'm your host, Jannelle So, greeting all the moms and the mother figures out there. A very happy Mother's Day. We are celebrating, we are happy that you are choosing to spend a little bit of your time with us on this very special Mother's Day weekend. If you're joining us on LA 18, happy Friday. If you're joining us on TFC, it is Happy Mother's Day. So we're celebrating ourselves as mothers, but we are also celebrating our moms. And so for this weekend, my team and I, also composed of hardworking mothers, have put together a very inspiring, a packed show for you, featuring stories of motherhood. But first, we're going to open with this very serious and very sensitive topic. A Filipino-American by the name of Miguel Delos Santos, he's 27 years old, recently fell victim to that excessive use of force by police officers. He had suffered 5 or 6 gunshots. A mother's plea, a mother's grief, a mother's questions. Here is So Informed.
Having a mental health issue is not a crime, and it should not be treated as such.
I am just wondering if that person in front of them was their brother or their best friend or their son. How would they have handled this?
How can you say no to a mother's plea, right? You ask me why I do it.
Mm-hmm.
How can you say no to that?
Thank you so much for joining us today in order to speak about this very important issue where Miguel Delos Santos, 27 years old, suffered gunshot wounds at the hands of police officers. Mrs. Delos Santos, Stephanie, the first question is to you. Talk to us about your son. How was he growing up?
Miguel was born and raised here in Washington. Very sweet kid and thoughtful. He always thinks about others first. Very helpful. He went to 2 years of pre-med because I asked him to, but he said he really wanted to be a firefighter.
So when and how did you realize that Miguel had some mental health issues?
He got quiet in his teenage years, and sometimes he told us that, he thought about suicide. I think that's one of the lessons we learned here is no matter how small we think it is, we have to pay attention to it.
Was there ever a clinical diagnosis of his condition?
When he went to California, he saw a doctor over there. He told me that he may be bipolar.
Cielo, let's talk about your fiance. He sounds like a great guy.
He's a great partner, but an even better father. I think to sum it up, especially if we were ever going to play a family game, my daughter would always pick him first to be on her team.
Did you know about Miguel's mental health issues?
There was no true signs that he was in distress, and I wish I saw something more.
What do you think triggered him?
Really, with the pandemic, we both lost our jobs. There was, we were supposed to get married in 2020. That was devastating. He never wants me to worry about anything. So he was probably going under a lot of stress.
Attorney Espina, what made you pay attention to this case?
These are issues very close to my heart. You know that, Jannelle, these social justice issues with regard to mentally disabled, undue force on the part of law enforcement, unfortunately. So there was no way I could say no and not take this case. There's a moral obligation to take it.
Because we have an eyewitness, actually, Cielo, Could you tell us what happened?
In the morning, I woke up to Miguel on the side of the bed in a fetal position. He was shaking, largely unresponsive, and when I saw his eyes roll back, that's when I called paramedics. They tried to get him out, but at that point, he managed to grab a pen and start stabbing himself in the neck. Got him out of the house, got him on the gurney, took him away. I thought he was going to be gone for the next 72 hours or so, but come to the second incident when he shows up at my house.
So at around 4 p.m. of the same day, he came back. He was discharged. Did he seem like he was ready to be discharged? Did he?
No, absolutely not, especially since I saw him show up at my door in some bright blue hospital socks.
So when he came back at 4 p.m., you called 911 again?
Yes, they got him out without incident.
All right, and then in less than an hour, he shows up again at you. At this point, were you asking him?
Tried to, but he's not in the best mental state. And this is over, a period of over 12 hours. He was very scared for his life. This should have been handled completely differently. It was just so mishandled.
The mishandling came through 5 or 6 gunshots fired. The officers are maintaining that Miguel was holding a knife and was posing a threat.
I was fixated on his face that entire time, so I don't recall seeing any knives. They reported on that he was out there and holding a butcher knife, one in each hand. And we don't even own a butcher knife, let alone 2 of them.
This case is tragic because they had 3 times the opportunity
to help him.
Clean it and help him.
And a lot of us think that childbirth is the most painful thing that a mother would ever go through. Happy are those mothers if that's the most painful thing that they would ever go through. Because that was nothing compared to how I felt that night. He was not safe the whole day. I thought that was the last day.
I can only imagine. You want the best for your children. You don't ever want to see them hurt.
We want to raise awareness about this situation, both to law enforcement and the community, so that there is some push for change.
I think it's time to put more emphasis on teaching people exactly how to handle these situations safely and compassionately.
We're happy and thankful that Miguel is, although he was taken to the hospital, underwent a lot of surgeries, was in the ICU. We're happy that he is at least now recovering.
And I'm so thankful that we get another chance to show him that we love him,
For what it's worth, I'm still going to greet each and every one of you a happy Mother's Day. And we hope to get together under better circumstances in the future. Thank you. Right about now, we're going to hear from a man who talks about his mother fondly, especially as he was raised by a single mom. Here is Stevenraga with his story about his mom. Stevenraga and his mom, they're so inspiring.
Yeah, the sacrifice that we need for our elected officials mirrors what the sacrifice of like a parent and a single parent, a mother would give you. It's having the resources to change the lives of those that you have authority and should be shepherding along the way, even though they don't agree with you at all times.
Stevenraga, hello, and thank you so much for making time for us here on So Jannelle.
Thank you for making the time. I'm very excited.
Recently, you threw your hat in the race for City Council, a 26th district seat in New York. So what pushed you to make that move?
It's about time that somebody that looks like us can represent our community to a degree and a level that can not just support us, but also make us proud. This is something that is high time and a big instance that made me decide to let's do it. We have to do it is when a member of our own community, Noel Quintana, was attacked in the subway and the L train back in February. There was no real support from our elected officials for him. In fact, just this weekend, he said they might have given him $21 in benefits as it. And you can trust me, if I was an elected official representing New Yorkers, that I would be up in arms and fighting for all New Yorkers as fiercely as I would fight for Noel.
So no Filipino, you're blazing, you're hoping to blaze the trail. Is there pressure? Do you feel pressure?
Luckily, we're making history together. It's the first time 3 Filipino candidates are on the ballot at the same time in New York City. And it's an exciting time, especially in a time where we need the representation the most.
So there's this concept of a dirty pot. Whoever holds this, even if you hold it with clean hands, when you're done with it or when you're in it, you can't help but dirty your hands. What do you say to people now? How can we trust or have faith that you're going to be different?
If we're going to look at like a track record, even though that pot might be dirtying my hands, I'll make every opportunity to lift it up and show you how clean it still it still is, and be transparent. And if it's the same color as the pot, like I will resign in front of you guys. I'd rather keep a clean slate and a clean soul.
And I've heard a lot about your integrity as well, credibility within the American community, and people know that about you. Right? But not too many people know that you were actually raised by a single mom. How does that factor in the man that you've become now?
You could attribute it directly to being raised by a single mom. I mean, the way it happened was also so sudden because it was really weird, because I was born here, but since my dad did not have his green card or citizen yet, my mom stayed here while I was sent back to the Philippines. So I grew up in the Philippines for a few years and came back when my dad was allowed to come back in. A few years later, that's when my dad passed away suddenly, out of nowhere. My mom had to figure out, what to do.
How old were you?
7. In order to get to where I would be going to school, we had to wake up at 4:10 a.m. every day. So she'd wake me up at 4:10 a.m. We get on a bus at like 4:30 a.m., go over where she dropped me off, and at 5:30 a.m. just so she could go back on the bus the other way, get on the train in Queens, go all the way into the city in time for her work. So she could do that in the evening. I'd meet her at home, and then she'd go to another job, her second job. Then on the weekend would be the third job she would be going to, just to make sure we have money for rent, the utilities, for food. That's something she just did every day, and that kind of service to family is something she took with her even after she retired, because she was also still very community oriented. There was another time, and when she was going home, she had a bunch of food for the week, and then I kind of went back, and she went her own way, and I said, I'll follow her back to walk her back to her apartment, and I saw her give all that food to homeless people that were in a park. So that kind of a dedication to community, but also not asking for anything in return, just doing what you can under the radar. That's something I held with me, and something I learned from her.
What's so special about the way your mom raised you?
I asked her multiple times, are you sure you don't want me to major in nursing? I'll do it. Are you sure? And she's like, oh, whatever makes you happy. Like, are you sure? You know how much they're making? They got jobs right now. There's a recession. Are you like, no, whatever you want. So she just wanted me to be the best in whatever I, put my heart into. So. And
your mom has passed. She lived a full life, and now you're remembering her. What would be your message to her?
She was right in most of the things I told her she was wrong. But that a lot of the effort and the sacrifice that she did on a daily basis over the years hopefully has paid off. Hopefully I'm living the life that she thought I should.
I think she is. I think she thinks that. You mentioned about effort and sacrifice. That's also what we demand of our public servant. So what would be your plan and your vision for the city?
It's the same sacrifice and commitment to those that you oversee that I learned from my mom. So I think that's something I can bring to the table. The name of the game is sacrifice. That when you're helping the community, involving the community, is sacrifice. I kind of know what I'd be walking into, and I kind of know that it's like we're saying is we're going to have to give a lot of opportunities that give up for ourselves, some peace of mind, some peace, and some self-care time would be out of the question, and we'd have to give it to those in our community that need it more than us.
And right about now, also she experienced being a single mom. She experienced also being a teen mom, but now she is known as the mom of Filipino-American comedian Jo Koy. Here is Tita Josie. Tita Josie, as you will find out after this interview, is so cool.
You are a mother and you brought your children to earth. I know time will come that they will be responsible for themselves, but while they are growing up, it is your responsibility to provide them with all the things that they need to be successful in life. I am 75 years old right now, and I'm so proud of it. And you know, by the way, to the mothers that are listening right now, if they are done with their motherhood, hey, give all that attention to yourself. You deserve that.
Tita Josie Harrison joining us from Las Vegas. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you. Same to you, my dear.
Always, always pretty. You know, the last time that I
Oh.
saw you, 2019, in New York, and then pandemic happened. So, kamusta? How have you been?
It's sad what's happening right now. You know, I love to travel. I love to attend different functions in different states. It's been a joy of my life. But right now, I'm more of like stagnant, should I say, dito sa Vegas. Pero to keep myself busy, you know, I'm very active sa programa ko sa radyo, which I am enjoying right now.
Tell us about your program sa radio, Tita.
Oras ng Ligaya is broadcasted every Sunday, 6 to 7 p.m. ng gabi. Monday naman, the same time, 6 to 7 also. Ang aking open forum. Gusto kong magkaroon ng programa para mga Pilipino. They have a social connection to kind of express themselves.
It's so obvious that Joe got his humor from you because you're this jokester as well, and you're so biba. You're such a public speaker. What was that innate in you?
My mother is a very beautiful woman. And when we grew up, we saw her how she was. One time we were all playing jackstone. All of a sudden, my mother ran to the window and then started talking to somebody. And she was so serious. She said, What? I don't know. I didn't know. You didn't tell me. I just blabbering. So we all ran to the window and we looked out and we said, Mom, who are you talking to? She said, nobody. Did I tell you that I was talking to somebody? And we just died. You know, I noticed that I got it from her. I can throw on a question. My mind is so fast. And sometimes I'm amazed myself. I said, how did I come up with that joke? And then I caught Joe having a bit of this too, you know, and he's been a joker all his life. You know, even at home, I'll be watching TV and all of a sudden he will run in front of me wearing his shorts and he's imitating Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Risky Business. Is it Risky Business? I think.
Risky, something like that. And he will just do that and sing and move his legs and what. I said, get out of there, get out of my sight. And he would just, I'm Tom Cruise.
Tita, the way you were raised, how is that different or similar from the way you raised your children?
Raising my children, I got it from my parents. Number one is respect. You know, I also, whatever you want your kids to follow or imitate, you have to model it to them.
How did you discipline your children?
I'm kind of bad mother, should I say, because I spank Joe Koy, and you know, I want them to follow me and I want them to respect. That's all I really after them. I'm a strict mother, but I'm there for them.
I look up to you as well because I'm raising biracial children here in America. And Joe Koy, he's mainstream, but he still gives credit to his Filipino roots. How do you keep their heritage alive in that?
Well, with Joe Koy, you know, he grew up with majority of the Filipino ways, should I say, and he saw that and he likes it. The way we are, the giving, the loving, and calling everybody auntie and calling everybody
Using Vicks.
using Vicks. By the way, using Vicks, that is really true from the beginning to the end. I really love Vicks Vapor Rub.
Do you have any regrets, like seeing now your children, seeing now your life, the way you were as a mom to them?
The only regret that I have really is not finishing my education, because I advocate, education to anybody. Because as you can remember some of Joko's joke, I make fun of him being a comedian, and because that is also true to the T. That I wanted him to be a degree holder, either a nurse or a doctor, a lawyer, something that he can hold on to.
What happened to Jokoy? Does that change your view about education? Because he's very successful now, even more successful than people with a bachelor's degree, perhaps.
That's been our joke. That has been his one step ahead of me when he talked to me, actually. And he always give me a look like, well, you want me to be a degree holder, so now who's paying for your mortgage?
What about your message for your children? Now that you are at the stage where it's now their turn to pamper you and take care of you, and now you've seen the fruits of your sacrifices as a mom.
I love all of you, and I'm always here. People will turn their back to you, or things will be not the way you expected it to be, but you have a home in Vegas, you have a mother in Vegas, and as long as I'm alive, you'll be okay.
My name is Lilly Jade Perkins, and I'm 5 years old. My mom's name is Jannelle So Perkins, and she works as a TV host. We are making this video because it's Mother's Day, and this is a gift from my mom. Guess what? I'm a mom too. I'm a mom to all my bunnies. Christmas bunny, raspberry bunny, purple bunny, sugar plum, cinnamon red bunny, pink bunny, yellow bunny, green bunny, and the final two are Bunny and Boom Boom. I say hello in the morning and reminding them that it's morning by turning on the lights. And also, sometimes I play with them. I like being moms to my bunnies. They're so funny and make me laugh. My bunnies got me thinking, what are my favorite things about my mom? My heart feels happy when she plays with me. It fills up my bucket, and it makes me smile so much. And Mommy cooks for me. Grilled cheese, macaroni and cheese. She makes me eat healthy food, and she makes me try stuff. And I say no thank you if I don't want. Mommy likes to dress me up in dresses, shirts, more dresses, more shirts. Whatever kind of dress is fine. During coronavirus, Mommy started a new school for me. And now, at my own quarantine academy, we have our own cubbies, but it's not really the same because they're inside. And also, now, instead of a little notebook, I have a binder. So cool. I learned so much. She loves me so much, it makes my heart burst when she cuddles me. I have a brother, he's 2 years old. He's so happy every time I run around with my puppy balloon. He's just chasing the puppy. He thinks it's a real dog, but it's not. Mommy loves to play with Leo. She wakes him up so early when I'm still asleep. She says, good morning, good morning, good morning, how are you? I'm fine. And he says, Alpha, I would do. Every time I see her and I'm out of bed, she's like, I'm gonna eat this little boy. And I'm like, okay, as long as you don't eat me. She's so giggled that she's like, Mommy is so special to me because she loves me. She's so kind and I love her so much. And if I can break apart a heart necklace if I could, and then give a half and then put it all together. The heart is me and Mommy. Mommy makes me a better mommy to my bunnies. Today I want to say Happy Mother's Day. Mommy, I'm proud of you. I want to be just like you.
Thank you so much to my husband, Lester, to my daughter, Lily, my son, Leo, and of course to our producer, Rhea, for coordinating that wonderful, special Mother's Day video. Thank you.
Hello again, guys. I hope you enjoyed So Jannelle today. One day I will give Mommy a day off and host the whole show. Maybe next year. But until then, I want to wish all the moms a great Mother's Day. You guys are the best. And if you want to watch my interview again, you can find it on my YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching. I'm your host, Lilly Jade Perkins. And this has been So Jannelle. Mwah.